Welcome, everyone. We're going to wait a few moments for people to start coming into the webinar. But as we wait, we thought we'd start out with a fun little Halloween poll. So you see that pop up on your screens. We want to know what you're dressing up as for Halloween this year. You're going to go superhero, Disney character, scary monster, horror film character, or sci-fi fantasy character. So go ahead and fill that out as we wait for others to join. And then for those of you just joining, we're asking what you guys are going to dress up for Halloween this year. So make sure and participate in the poll. All right. It looks like we've got, still got people joining. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are just joining, we have this poll up. Make sure and put your answers in really quick. We're going to close that poll. We're asking you what you're going to dress up for as Halloween this year. And stay tuned till the end of the webinar. I'll let you guys know how your costume could win you a copy of Carl Hooker's new book on AI in education. So stay tuned for that. It looks like we can close this poll. I don't know if you guys are seeing the results here yet. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we got a lot of people in here today. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. My name is Erin Van Leer. I'm a marketing director here at Lightspeed. And I'm very excited to have you join us for this sneak peek at our Lightspeed product roadmap. I want to get a couple of housekeeping items out of the way before we get started. This session is going to be recorded for you to watch again or share with your team. You'll be able to access it at any time. If you have questions throughout the webinar, select the chat at the top of your nav screen and type your questions into the chat display on the right-hand side. Your questions are very important to us, so please don't be shy in asking for information you need. We'll be able to get to some of your questions live in the chat during the webinar or at the Q&A at the end. Thank you to those who submitted questions when you registered as well. Stay tuned. We'll cover as many of those as we can in the Q&A portion as well. And just a reminder for everyone, this webinar, the information in this webinar is Lightspeed Systems proprietary, and it is confidential. It's also subject to change at any time without notice, and it does not represent a commitment to develop. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. With that out of the way, let's jump into today's session. I'm thrilled to introduce three of Lightspeed's passionate product leaders. We have Brooke Bach, our Chief Product Officer, Amanda Sutter, our VP of Product Management, and Rob Chambers, our VP of Platform Services. And before I hand the reins over to Brooke, we had one more poll because we wanted to get an idea of which of the latest Lightspeed features you've been finding the most valuable. The choices this time are Parent Portal, social media controls, new classroom management UX, live activity reporting and filter, category management and reporting for AI sites, and Access Scan for teachers Chrome extension. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to fill that out. And as we're waiting, it looks like our poll results for the other were a little bit delayed. So I'm going to go ahead and share the results of the Halloween poll. Sci-fi fantasy character went out with 38%. So it'll be fun to see those on social media next week. As for this one, we'll give you guys a couple more seconds to pick your answers, and then we'll take a look at those.
If I had thought of it, I would go sci-fi also.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's such a broad range too. Anything from game characters to whatever. All right, we'll go ahead and close that poll. And it looks like our webinar polling tool might be a little bit delayed. So I might need to have Brooke continue and we'll cover the answers on the poll when they pop up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this over to you, Brooke. Thank you, welcome.
Thank you so much, Erin. It's such a joy to be here with everyone this morning or afternoon or evening, whatever time zone you're in the world. It's been about a year, a little over a year since I joined Lightspeed, and has been such a pleasure to get to know our family of districts. Those of you I haven't met, I'm still excited to meet you and hear from you. But today, first, I'm going to walk through a little bit of how we attempt, and our goal is to listen to you so that you can inform our roadmap and our products to meet exactly your needs. And then I will hand it over to Amanda and Rob, who will go into more detail specifically about what you can expect in the more near term from our roadmap. And then we'll just touch at the end about how we can support you more holistically beyond just exactly what's in the products. So first, now and as always, our goal to you is to provide a safe, secure, and equitable education. And we do serve nearly half of US K-12 districts. That gives us a really valuable ear into what you need and want as you're protecting students, you're securing your data, your student, your staff data, and attempting to have the insights you need to make decisions, time-sensitive decisions, as well as more strategic decisions for the districts you serve. And then most importantly, enabling that front line of teachers who are tasked with the ultimate goal to educate all of our students. When I think about how we want to approach meeting your needs, I do think about it in a bit of a hierarchy of needs, that you need a digital ability, a digital safe room to be able to have all of your staff and students interact in a way that limits the risk to you and to all students as well. And then beyond that, students need not, and staff need not worry about their physical safety while in a school environment, and they need to be in a position to mentally digest the learning. We have a role in each of these, and then kind of as you move up the pyramid, how can we make the job of teachers and IT administrators and curriculum staff and leadership across the board, safety personnel, as efficient as possible with the insights needed to maximize that kind of learner achievement and ultimately district success. So as we build out our portfolio, this is kind of what we have in mind and how we can help you meet each of those needs in a truly integrated way. One of the ways we do that is a lot of research. We do both generative research and evaluative research. A lot of that informs our user experience. We had a project this past year that we internally called Project Turbo. And our goal with that project was to ensure your implementations, your rostering, your troubleshooting we eliminated as much of a burden as we could off of you. That will continue as we progress month after month. We very actively will look for ways to make your experience with our technology as good and positive as possible. In listening to you, you had a voice in many of the things that we did this year. And I want to highlight three. There are many, many others, but these came really directly from you. The first one is our new classroom user experience. So our goal here was to make that experience as easy and simple as possible, to try and reduce the burden of training and kind of the back and forth. So we've had a lot of positive feedback. We welcome more feedback, but very excited about launching that this year. We also launched Access Scan, which kind of solves that horrible pain point of teachers publishing to students a their lesson plan and students not being able to access items on the lesson plan. So this gives teachers a very quick and easy way of checking to ensure students have access to that plan in advance. And then finally, our digital equity module, which we launched this year, provides very valuable insight into connectivity, both inside and outside of school, to ensure that all students have access to digital learning, as well as critical device health insight that can be helpful in troubleshooting specific students' needs. So those were just a few of the things that literally came directly from many of you into our plan. So very grateful for them. Please continue to do so. We do really try and listen. I'm going to talk now briefly on something that is a hot topic a lot right now. It is AI, and I just want to touch on it because I know it's something that many of you are facing, having discussions about, and I want to talk very briefly on what we have available to you now in our product set and what we are working on and what is coming in the near term. We know that we're at the early end of the adoption curve, but that it is really taking off very, very quickly. So we want to be able to be there for your needs now and as this new technology evolves. We did survey our clients, many of our clients, and wanted to share that with you so you kind of have some of the same perspective that we have. Almost 70% of districts said that IT is leading decisions on AI use. However, 81% reported that they had limited or no visibility into AI site or app usage at the district. So that's hard, right? To be able to be in a position to inform decisions or make decisions, but not have the insight needed to do so. And then 64% lack teacher professional development regarding AI policies, practices, and use in the school. And really right now at this stage of the adoption curve, over 90% of clients are currently blocking it for students. Many are allowing it for staff, but blocking it for students. So we know this will evolve over time, but right now that is where we are at as a community. When we think about what we could do from here, there's really 4 core areas that we are actively exploring at every time. One, the role of AI in accelerating learning. So both in the ability for AI to better understand student comprehension and better able to meet the individual learning needs of students. And then learner engagement. We do know through surveys also that the majority of students believe AI can help them learn. So you now have this tool that has a captive audience that's provoked interest in learners. So how can we leverage that to engage students not only in education now, but in their future for work outside of school? This third one is the one that I think we have a big role to help you with, and that's the administrative efficiency. So we know most districts are understaffed, and the dynamic you're in is more challenging and changing than it ever has been before. So what can we do to simplify, ease repetitive tasks, allow more support and time? So very much actively looking at things that we can do with AI to simplify what you do administratively when you use the tools that you do. And then finally, incorporating AI into our products to give you more timely, more accurate, more insightful data to be able to make both near-term and more strategic decisions. So, evaluating all 4 of these as we build our roadmap out for the coming months and years. All right, as we move on, there's a lot that we do today. For counselors and safety, we do use artificial intelligence in our alerting product to identify digital incidents indicative of self-harm, violence, and other kind of worrisome incidents that might need intervention. We do also support IT in safeguarding students from unapproved AI use. We also will be supporting curriculum and instruction on that very valuable how, when, and why students are using AI apps. More valuable than shooting off a percentage, but something that gives you the context that you actually might need. And then finally, enabling that front line of teachers to understand more practically AI use in and outside of the classroom. So here's a quick snapshot of what we have done already and what we have coming soon. So we do today already have AI filtering categories. We have AI suspicious queries and AI reporting. We also have AI app usage reporting and student data privacy policy scanning within Digital Insight. Very soon, we will have AI detection as well in classroom management to enable teachers to see when AI is used. And then even more valuably, which I'll talk about in a second here, very soon after, we will also have a little bit more context and insight for teachers to understand how students are using it in their actual assignments. So to dive in, we have right here is the kind of screenshot that you will see in product in the near future, where you will be in our classroom management product. We will highlight that AI use was detected. You can see that it was ChatGPT. You will be able to see kind of a time-stamped view of the student's interaction with those AI sites. And then finally, you're able to see what the student asks the AI app, what the AI app produced back, and where that production was included in an assignment. So again, want to provide as much context as we possibly can to help give the appropriate insight to staff, but also to inform policy decisions going forward. So really excited about the work here, trying to get ahead of, and we know a lot of districts are blocking it, but trying to also get ahead of what the future may hold, as well as it is used as a valuable tool to advance learning in classrooms. All right. With that, I am going to turn it over to Amanda to talk about many of the new and exciting features we have in our specific product line. So Amanda, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Brooke. I'm excited to be here today and share some of the really exciting things that we've recently released. I'll give you some insight into what's coming soon and give you a preview of the features that we are driving toward next. So we have a robust portfolio that allows us to serve a number of different needs across your districts, and our roadmap prioritizes 4 key areas in security, safety, impact, and learning. So security is paramount, and we are prioritizing features that allow you to easily identify and de-risk user behavior by providing the easiest filtering experience that allows you to pinpoint and quickly address risky behavior and flag suspicious behavior based on unique district needs. In the safety space, we want to make sure that you're able to proactively identify students who need support. So on our side, we're working to handle district notification needs and preferences and give you options and control of what's being monitored while we continue to broaden the scope of our coverage. And we are prioritizing tools to help you optimize and manage digital investments. So giving you tools to identify and remediate connectivity issues to improve digital equity, enabling department and site level access to usage reporting, and providing insights by app category, including AI apps, to help manage costs. And then last, but certainly not least, with respect to learning, we prioritize giving teachers effortless device and digital learning management, and we have upcoming features to accommodate staffing and course changes, provide AI detection during lessons, and facilitate app approval requests. So this is a high-level view of all of the exciting things we have been and are working on in the portfolio. I'm not going to read this slide to you, but I will get into more detail as we look at the product-specific roadmaps. So let's jump right in. Okay, starting with Lightspeed Filter, we've recently released Parent Portal and YouTube social media controls. So in addition to shutting off the internet for different periods of time and viewing their child's web activity, parents can now gain the ability to allow, restrict, or block after-school access to YouTube and social media, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more. And then administrators have the flexibility to choose what features they want parents to be able to view and control. And then you heard Brooke talk about AI. With the rise and prevalence of that, it's really important for us to be responsive to what's happening in the market and give you more visibility and control around AI. So we've added AI categories, including general AI, generative AI, and detective AI, and AI query reporting to give you insight into allowed and blocked searches related to suspicious usage of AI. So coming soon, with trusted applications, you can ensure smooth testing periods with the ability to set specific applications, for example, your vital testing applications, as trusted, and then prevent any potential disruptions to testing. And with Mac OS Easy Deploy, we're streamlining the deployment process for Mac, moving to a single package that you can easily deploy from any MDM, and giving you Certificate Manager, which you can simply switch on to automate the rest. So you can easily generate, deploy, and manage certificates year over year, streamlining both that initial process and the annual management. And then in the future, we're providing a way to proactively communicate details out to key district and school staff with scheduled automated reporting. And we're streamlining policy management, making it easier to configure filtering rules and navigate and update policies in an intuitive way. And we're making updates to prevent those sneaky smart students from bypassing filtering rules. So as we step through the roadmap for each of the products, we've pulled a couple of features out to do a little bit more focused highlight on. For filter, we have scheduled reporting, which is currently in development. This is a heavily requested feature that we hear a lot of excitement about. With scheduled reporting, you can quickly and easily create new reports, giving you flexibility to customize frequency and easily share with stakeholders across the district. And we're also adding a clean, intuitive page to see and manage all of your reports in one place. Okay, moving on to Lightspeed Alert. We've had a couple of exciting releases lately, including category sensitivity controls, which lets you set on a category by category basis the level of concern you want to be notified of. So if you want to see everything, low, medium, and high concern alerts, you can set that. Or to give you more focus on things that are more concerning, you can take out the lows, set to medium and high only, or limit to the most severe with monitoring to high concern only. This is a really powerful tool. I would encourage you to take a look at your current settings and the alerts you're receiving and adjust to suit your needs. So we have also added the ability to upload Guardian contact information in the user details section, really giving administrators a quick way to get that contact info and reach out when they're notified of a serious issue. We know in those cases that time is of the essence. You need to get in touch quickly and you don't want to have to go to another source to get that contact info. So we've given you the ability to streamline that workflow by adding that information into our platform. Coming soon, we will have new categories of alerts, so drugs and weapons, expanding our coverage and providing schools more insight into student behavior in those areas. And we are expanding language support and giving districts with Spanish-speaking populations more comprehensive coverage of their students with Spanish notifications. And then in the future, we will be adding a tip line, so giving schools a tool to engage the whole community, students, staff, and parents in school safety by allowing them to report concerning incidents or threats via an online form or by phone. And we are also working to protect staff and students from exposure to concerning and sensitive material by holding and quarantining those images. Okay, to give you a little bit more insight into drugs and weapons, here is a view of what those expanded categories will look like, as well as the levels of concern that I touched on earlier. So with these categories, you'll have more control of notifications regarding drugs and weapons, and really creating more opportunities for early detection and intervention in those areas. And for tip line, this gives you a view of what this online form will look like. So very easy to use and intuitive, as well as the customization down there on the right that we're putting in place to be able to generate client-specific QR codes at the district or school level for ease of access to tip line and anonymous reporting. The tip line will flow through our existing workflow, including being reviewed by human review. So if you are taking advantage of having alerts reviewed by our skilled team of safety specialists, you'll have that same support and escalation process for all tips received. Okay, and moving on to digital insight. This summer, we released our new digital equity module, giving visibility into internet access and connectivity issues across the district. We also release support for international agents and supporting multiple languages, so clients outside of the US can get the same great insights and data and take full advantage of all that Digital Insight has to offer. Coming soon, we have the Digital Equity Map. This will be a new addition to the Digital Equity module, giving IT leaders valuable insight into geographic areas needing additional support for better internet access. And for Lightspeed customers who are already using SmartSync to sync their roster, we are adding SmartSync rostering to Digital Insight, allowing them to leverage that same roster for DI with no additional effort. And we are also adding in a cross-product integration, allowing teachers to initiate an app approval request from Classroom and administrators to manage that in Digital Insight. Coming in the future, we will be integrating Digital Insight with Lightspeed's platform, giving users a unified Lightspeed login, better SSO, and granular and school-level admin roles. We are also adding in another cross-product integration with the ability to block apps via filter integration. And then we know that every district has their own needs and processes when it comes to approving apps. So we are reimagining our app approval workflow to add in more customization and flexibility for districts, which will allow clients to add reviewers and departments and create a custom workflow depending on how your district is set up for app approvals, as well as customized app request forms and approval status. Okay, to give you some more detail on the map, the highly anticipated addition to Digital Equity, this Digital Equity Access Map, supports strategic planning and investment decisions by providing IT leaders and district and community stakeholders with a real-time picture of internet access issues. So it helps districts identify opportunities to deploy scaled solutions to address geographic areas needing additional support for better internet access. And you can see there's a lot of detail here, a lot of options to filter in a number of ways, and the ability to see the number of users, providers, and platforms for each of these honeycombs. Okay. And then with the ability for teachers to request an app in Digital Insight, we are simplifying the workflow between teachers and admins, but we're also creating more visibility and making the approval process for all app requests easier, not just those coming from Classroom. So teacher requesters will be able to see when their requested app is in review, and we are adding functionality to be able to choose if you want to receive email notifications when an app request is requested. So you don't have to go and hunt for that anymore. You can be notified directly of it. Okay. And then expanded admin roles. Today, Digital Insight offers 3 role types that prescribe what users are able to access. But we know districts are looking for more control over which reports and data are accessible by which users, and they want school-level roles. So we're bringing admin roles into platform, giving consistency there, and allowing school and team leaders to have appropriate access and have that expanded visibility into app usage data and approved apps. So ultimately helping to improve digital learning cost optimization and decision-making. And moving on to Classroom. If you are a Classroom user, you know that over the summer we released a new and enhanced UI UX, making Classroom more intuitive and easy to use so we can save teachers time and enable them to focus on what really matters, the students and their instruction. Along with this updated UI, we also released some new features, including improvements to communication, giving teachers the ability to easily check in with students and streamline communication by sending announcements and messages to the entire class or to groups of students. Teachers also now have tools to custom arrange student thumbnails, so they can do that however they see fit, alphabetical, to match a seating chart, you name it, they can make that view. And we've recently added customizable class tiles with 12 colors to choose from to differentiate your classes, and additional information added to each of those tiles for schedule type, student count, teacher, and time remaining when that class is in session. So moving to what is coming soon, you can see we have some really exciting features for Classroom. For the first 2, I'll go into more detail on the next slide, so we'll keep it brief here, but we have merged classes and co-teaching assignments coming soon. We also have AI detection of student activity, so giving teachers a visual indication of when students have gone to AI sites, and the teacher request app approval integration with Digital Insight that you heard about a few minutes ago. And then in the future, we have AI usage detail. So this builds upon the AI detection that we'll be delivering shortly and gives insight into what the student actually did on those sites. What was the prompt they typed? Did they go from that site into a document? Did they copy and paste? What exactly was that flow so that teachers can see not just that they used an AI site, but how they used it and can determine whether or not that use is responsible. We are also planning to add two-way messaging, so adding the ability for teachers and students to have a two-way chat during a class session so students can collaborate more effectively and remain engaged. And then we're adding the ability for teachers to limit the number of tabs students can access in the class session and allowing them to lock on only the tabs they want them to be able to access. And then we are also working toward student polling capabilities. So a lot of great things in the pipeline for Classroom. Okay, jumping into a bit more detail with merged classes. This is a teacher time saver for sure, and it solves a problem caused by the way that some student information systems sometimes handle class rosters, resulting in multiple sections of a single class. So that makes it really hard for teachers to efficiently manage their class, but merged classes makes it very easy to solve that problem and saves teachers time by allowing them to combine multiple class sections for the same class period into a single class. And then they can manage that whole class consistently and from one place. For co-teaching assignments, with staff churn, teacher shortages, new ways of teaching, even just a need for an easy way to cover teacher absences, we're giving better support for educators by enabling additional permissions for co-teachers, substitutes, and teaching assistants to help educators monitor, apply web access restrictions, and just manage their classes without needing to involve IT. And this is our final highlight for Classroom, the request app approval. So you heard about this from the Digital Insight side, and this gives you a look at what this time-saving workflow will look like in Classroom for teachers. So teachers will have the ability to search for apps within Classroom and then see if the app they're interested in has already been requested, approved, or not approved. And they can easily see what has already been approved for use and take a quick action to request an app not already on that list. Okay, so to wrap up the product slides, we've got a quick look at what's ahead for MDM. We have an enhanced focus and some exciting things planned here. In the near term, we're focusing on the back-end infrastructure to really improve performance and stability. And then following that, we'll be working to ensure full compatibility with new Apple features, including declarative management, return to service, and support for imported profiles. So we'll have even more details for you on what's next for MDM in our next product roadmap update. So be sure to come back for that, as well as a whole new round of exciting updates across the portfolio. That's it for me. Next up, we have Rob Chambers, who will share the strategy and what's on the roadmap for platform and agents.
All right, thanks, Amanda, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about things that are more on the back end a little bit, but what is going on across our platform and agent portfolio. So we'll talk first about our agents. The Lightspeed solution provides a complete and comprehensive coverage across all of your devices. So most of you are probably already familiar with our agents for Chrome, Mac, Windows, and iOS. That supports all supported shipping versions of those operating systems. So on the pre-questions, some people asked about Windows 11. Windows 11 is fully supported. Latest versions of Mac OS are fully supported, iOS and Chrome as well. So our agents keep pace with those and provide you the support you need. But one of the things that we saw in the questions is that some of you might be struggling or not aware of the solutions for covering the rest of your devices on your network. And so I want to talk a little bit about two pieces of this display that you're seeing here, and that is what we call Smart Shield. The Smart Shield, for those of you that may have formerly known it as the network agent, is now been rebranded as Smart Shield, and that covers everything else on your network, all your BYOD, all your IoT, any kind of other devices that might be present that you don't have agents, or even for those devices for operating system agents that we have, maybe a new device shows up and the agent hasn't installed through your deployment software. The Smart Shield system will cover that. And then when the agent comes online, it will automatically detect it. So you have that full, complete coverage. The other piece of that solution is also what we call our cloud agent or our cloud filter. So the cloud filter will protect devices predominantly used, say, for your BYOD, your guest network, and gives you, a filtering policy kind of to catch all for all those devices and gives you that an additional layer of protection. A couple things with Smart Shield. Sorry, I missed these when I was looking at my notes here. To note is that Smart Shield supports integration with your directory services, so your users can be authenticated and receive their individualized policy on those BYOD guest devices and all of that. And it is also agent aware, as I mentioned, so that as new agents come online, it automatically detects that and lets them do the filtering and steps out of the way. So you don't have to separate your network. You can manage it all as one easy deployment. Now, what's coming in agent implementation? So some of these things we've heard from you as large requests and have been on our list, and some of them have already been in the works. So Amanda mentioned the Mac OS Easy Deploy. So we're changing the Mac deployment system from a disk image to a PKG deployment to be more compatible with the MDM solutions available today for Mac OS, as well as changing the way we manage certificates to be compliant with the Apple operating system requirements, but also simplify that task for you so that it is not an ongoing management time sink that you need to do. Coming in the future for our agents, we're also looking to give you a one agent experience across the products so that as you are deploying multiple products, you have less to manage and less to worry about across those agents. That'll be one thing that you deploy and manage and stays in sync and keeps all the versions up to date. A big one is it says no reboot required. I'm going to reword that a little bit to say no forced reboot required. There may be times when the agent requires an update, but it will allow that to occur naturally in the system and not force a reboot. That's something we've heard is a very common request, and so that is in the works. We're also continuing to enhance our SSL decryption technology. This is something that just never goes off our roadmap. SSL is and the web is continuing to adapt with new technologies, and we keep those things and keep that technology in our agents so that we can keep you current and keep you protected. On the platform side, we have two big projects underway. The first is on centralized admin roles. So admin roles today are managed in a couple of different ways across the products. We're bringing that all together in one simplified view, but we're also adding a couple of enhancements to that we have heard as common requests. The first is the ability to take, say, an OU within your organization and define that an admin role. The use case there would be maybe all of your network admins are in one OU in your directory, and you want to assign them that network admin role within the system. And so you'll be able to assign that OU, and that will take effect automatically. So as new users or new admins come into your organization, they're placed in that OU in your directory. Those admin rights are automatically assigned for them. We're also adding the ability to do that automatic assignment through CSV. So in a lot of districts, maybe you're managing that, maybe not in your directory system, but through your HR system, and you want to be able to extract that and import those admin roles in and keep those in sync that way. And so both of those options are coming to the new centralized admin role. You also get a selection of predefined admin roles that we will keep and manage for you and make sure that all new features and everything are in there. Or you can customize those roles to fit the needs of your district. On the user and group management side, Many of you have been migrated to our new user and user sync system called Smart Sync. And along with that is improved ability to sync from multiple sources. We recognize today that many of you either need or require or prefer the ability to sync multiple sources. And while that has been possible in the system for a long time, we are making enhancements to how you view that and how you see that. So now we're going to bring those user and group images syncs into one interface where you can see exactly that. And if a user is being synced from multiple sources, you'll be able to see that, where that data is coming from. If there are differences in that data, you'll be able to view that and know which one the system is going to use. So definitely streamlining the multiple sync source environment, which again is more and more common today as you add products, or you have maybe your students on Google and your staff on Active Directory or various things like that. Okay, beyond the products, I want to talk about two other things that Lightspeed now has offering for you. The first is our product training services. So we've expanded our training and support service to better meet your needs. We have an on-demand library for all products that is greatly expanded over the past 6 months to include all the key features in the products, set of on-demand videos for teachers, which are accessible without logging in, that gives them the information they need for classroom. And then in addition, we have our faculty, our facilitated professional development. So based on feedback that we've received from you, is you want more opportunities to have live in-person training. And so we now have that available by our team of former technology experts or district personnel, and they can help you learn best practices, discover advanced application solutions, and all of that. We also are introducing strategic services for if your district maybe is short-staffed or need additional support to manage your Lightspeed implementation. This is a service that we can now offer to you. For instance, like a digital insight data review, our strategic services team can help you through that process and take the burden off of your staff. And then finally, I'll talk about our new user community. Very excited to have this released. So we launched our support portal, say about 2 years ago, and now we've expanded that on with the addition of the Lightspeed user community. So that launched earlier this month. Within the community, you can access discussion boards on topics and products, see our upcoming events, meet our team, even apply to be a Lightspeed advocate, which comes with some additional perks around that as well too. So after this webinar, we'd like you to drop by the user community, introduce yourself, or engage in a conversation. It uses the same login as the rest of the portal and single sign-on with the product, so you should have automatic and easy access. So please join us there. It's a great way to interact with our product team and other Lightspeed community users.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob.
And I'm going to turn it back to you, Erin. Thank you.
Awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. We'll bring Amanda and Brooke back on stage. I did want to note there were a lot of questions in the chat throughout the presentation. Just for everyone's reference and for anything that says coming soon in a lot of those slides, that's going to be targeted for the last couple months of this year. And then anything that says future or said future on the slide is going to be the first half of next year. So with that, I've got a couple questions here as well. We're going to start with one for Amanda. Can digital, and I'm going to drop the slide. Amanda, can digital insight be a tool to help tame rampant and rogue tools or apps?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that's one of the main use cases of digital insight. There's a couple of cool ways to do that. So our trending apps report shows every app in use across your school district. And just as a fun fact, we typically see more than 1,000 apps in use per district across all of our clients. But we've got agents on every OS, so nothing gets missed. You can filter by approved and licensed to find apps that are in use. Look at what you aren't supporting and filter and by tag or category to find similar apps in use. But once you identify apps that you don't want used, you can drill down to see specifically who's using those apps, like where, which campus, grade, section, even down to the student level. And then you can add those rogue apps to your unapproved list and make that list public so that staff knows what they should not be using. And then coming soon, as you heard, classroom clients will be able to make that list of unapproved apps available directly in Classroom as well. So really easy to see and track.
Very cool. And then this one's for Rob. Are there plans to simplify the mass deployment of the filter agent via MDM for Mac OS?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the Mac OS Easy Deploy that we talked about earlier. So there's really two components of that. The first is streamlining the deployment through changing that deployment methodology from a disk image to a PKG. Most MDMs today have adopted the PKG as kind of the standard of preference for that Mac deployment. So we have made that change to keep pace with that. And then there's, again, also the certificate manager piece. The kind of second kind of headache on the Apple side is the way they've changed the requirements for managing and deploying certificates have to be through MDM now. And so we have updated our certificate manager to be very compatible with that and also ease the ongoing management.
Okay, very nice. And then while we still have you, Rod, this question's a two-parter. We're going to start with, how is the Lightspeed filtering database currently classifying AI sites?
So we have a few different classifications for AI in the database. So we have kind of just general AI sites. The generative AI sites are separated out into their own category. And then we have the AI detection tool sites, and they are also their own category. As you can imagine, that is a rapidly growing categorization site as more and more AI sites are showing up and becoming present. And so that is something that we, not only in our scanning engines, keeping pace with that, but also our manual categorization team and feedback from our community of users like you of new AI sites that are coming online, and those are placed in there, allowing you to block or allow them as appropriate within your district.
And then are we going to be developing an AI checker that would help teachers and leaders determine if AI was used in creating homework assignments or whatever in responses?
I'm going to probably let Amanda take the second part of that one, because that ties in with some of the new classroom features. So Amanda, I'll let you have that one.
Sure. Yeah. So I talked a little bit about this, but we have, we'll be building on that AI detection feature, being able to identify when AI was used and how it was used. This will be in and outside of class time. We'll be taking a look at what they did, which sites they accessed, what prompts they put in, the actions that they took from there. So being able to see that whole workflow, and adding in support later on for Google Docs and homework assignments. So getting that full spectrum of view of AI usage.
Very cool. And then I have another question about Lightspeed Classroom. It doesn't currently have any form of audit logging. When can we expect to see something implemented?
We have actually implemented audit logging. It's currently available by request, but we're capturing the actions that teachers do in the system. So with which students, and then when the action takes place. If you are interested in getting more data on those actions, you can request logs. We can export and package that up for you, and work with you on the best way to get that data to you. We will be adding in the future the ability for clients to access and pull that data, so you don't have to always come to us for it. But right now we're happy to help with any of those requests.
Okay, awesome. And then I have another one on AI for Brooke. Are the benefits to using AI in a teaching capacity? Are there benefits to using AI in a teaching capacity for students? And is this something that we should focus on?
So I do think there will be. I think teachers have a massive breadth of what they have to do in a classroom. We know that they're overstrained, overburdened. So there's a lot of ways that we can help the teacher using AI in the classroom environment. We know foundationally that, for example, multiple choice questions do not have limitations in how they're able to reveal true comprehension and learning. We know in writing, grading writing assignments, even just the administrative capability of surfacing up prompts for students. So I think there's a lot of places that we can leverage AI to assist the teacher in teaching, to unburden them kind of almost administratively, but in a way that has effect on learning. So I do think it's an area we should and can explore, alongside many other areas that we can make the job of having a secure and safe environment, and helping our IT leaders and other staff do that as well.
Very cool. And then it looks like we have a couple more, a little more technical questions here. This one's for you, Rob. Are Lightspeed products Windows 11 compatible?
Yes, we are compatible with Windows 10, Windows 11, and any of the other kind of fully supported shipping operating systems. So that applies to Mac OS, iOS, Chrome OS as well.
Okay. And then are there any plans for an admin-friendly exportable student access report? For example, PDFs with graphics and more details?
I'm going to, again, defer this one back to Amanda on some of the reporting enhancements that the filter team is looking at.
This is something that we have heard feedback on, and we are taking a look at and in the process of kind of defining what that would look like for us.
Okay. I've got a couple more questions here. We've got a couple more minutes. There's one about Access Scan and if it's a function of the core platform or if that's an add-on.
So Access Scan is a extension that gets pushed separately from the agents, but it is part of the filter product and is included for all filter customers to use.
Okay. Let me see. I think this might be our last question. If you've got any remaining questions, please ask them. In the meantime, we did have a general note about kind of the timelines for some of these launches, but there's also a specific question about the Smart Agent 2.5.2 and when that's going to hit general availability. So I figured we could let the people know.
I don't have the exact date on that. We monitor both the usage, implementation. We look for certain thresholds. It varies based on the type of release we're doing and the operating system we're working with, to ensure that we're not seeing anything once we've gone through that field testing. So it is something that the team is very actively monitoring and working with, and I know we are anxious to get that out to general release, so I think you'll see information on that soon.
Awesome. Thank you. We've got a couple more coming in here. We do have a couple more minutes left, so let's go ahead and use this time. Is there going to be a school level admin role for classroom management, alert, and digital insight?
So classroom management and alert can be done today at the school level or the OU level, and digital insight is working on that as they use the admin roles that we're building that we have and we're enhancing in the platform today.
Awesome.
That was one of the things that we have on the future for digital insight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to wrap us up here. Thank you, Rob, Amanda, and Brooke. As promised, I did want to let everyone know how you can win a copy of Carl Hooger's new book on AI in education. Just go ahead and follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn. And then on October 31st, upload a photo of you in your Halloween costume and tag us, and you'll be entered to win. And then if you have any questions about anything that you've seen in this webinar or anything that comes up after, please don't hesitate to reach out to your customer success manager. They're very excited to help you with whatever questions you have. But we also have a sales@lightspeedsystems.com email where you can reach out to us. We're happy to respond there. And if you're wanting to get any more in-depth details or get a walkthrough of any of these features or upcoming or whatever we can show of upcoming releases, you can also grab a demo by going to lightspeedsystems.com/demo, and we'll get you all set up for that. And as always, please fill out our post-session survey. Let us know how we did. Let us know what we can do better next time. And with that, I will let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining.